I got into the Zelda series kinda late. See, when I was a kid, I played a lot of Smash 64, so I knew who Link was, but I didn't know who Link was, if you know what I mean. What game is he from? How does ears get so long? Why is his recovery so bad? Questions my little peanut brain thought would never be answered. Fast forward to Christmas 2004, and good old Santy Wanty got me a GameCube and a curious little game with a gold cover called Legend of Zelda: Wind Waker. I didn't know what a Zelda was, but I loaded it up, put in my name, and oh! Is that Link? From Smash Bros. 64? Melee was definitely out at this point, but I was a little behind on this. Game is incredible. He's got a sword. He can roll around. He loves his grandma. He loves his sister. He loves cutting grass. Since then, I've played a ton of Zelda games, and while it seems like each new installment gets bigger and bigger, today I decided I wanted to go smaller. I've never actually played the original NES game, and I always wondered how the series got its start. So let's load it up and see what it's all about. Starting with this cave and one of the most iconic lines in video game history. Hey kid, want this cool sword? Okay, I'm just fucking with you. I may have never actually sat down and played the OG LOZ, but like, I get it. I know it's a secret to everyone. I know Link come to town. I know he fill up his hearts, and I know he shoot his sword of power. So although I was streaming this playthrough live, I wasn't gonna let my Mega Chads backseat me and tell me where to go. Not unless I got super lost. Like incredibly lost. Like hopelessly, terribly. Alright, I got really lost immediately. My sense of direction is atrocious, but apparently that's kind of the whole point of this game. Shigeru Miyamoto explained that he used to kind of just explore the Kyoto countryside as a kid, and he wanted to capture the sense of unknown wonder with the worlds of Zelda. Sometimes you find a forest, sometimes you find a lake, sometimes you find a cave, and fucking all the time you find Octoroks spitting rocks at you. I totally get the appeal of open world games, but like in an NES format, there isn't enough detail to help me remember where I am. I keep wandering and getting lost and dying and not knowing how to get back to where I died. This is gonna take, whoa! Is that the first dungeon? I don't know what kind of dark sorcery is at play here, but I somehow wandered around blind for 20 minutes and made it to dungeon 1. And this is gameplay I can understand. You enter a room, kill all the bats, and you get a key. But also the bats are called keys, so it's really a bit of a double entendre. I'm surprised at what kind of stuff they delegated to monster drops in this game. Like we got bombs just randomly in the open world where usually there's a whole song and dance cutscene for those. These random boomers gave us a boomerang, which is freaking sweet, but immediately in the same dungeon, we also get a bow? Oh, but it doesn't come with arrows, which for some reason is not an enemy drop. And none of these items we get from the dungeon work on the boss. Where's the big glowing eye you gotta shoot? Where's the multiple heads you gotta multi-target with the boomerang? Where's the gaping maw you gotta throw bombs in? Everything I thought I knew about Zelda's being questioned. But one thing stays the same. As soon as we stab Trogdor enough times with our sword, we get a heart container. And we get our first triangle. One of the 8 baby triangles we need to make the Giga Triangle. Hey, wanna hear a joke? What did Zelda say to Link when he couldn't open a locked door?
Well, maybe you should try buying a key from a shop for 100 rupees.
100 rupees? Sounds like a ripoff. Let's buy a candle for 60 instead. Wait, where the hell did he go? Now you are the shopkeep, that's right. And then we're back to being lost. But you know what they say, it's not about the destination, it's about the old men we meet along the way.
Secret is in the tree at the dead end.
Which dead end? All I'm finding are dead ends. We buy some arrows, get scammed by grandma, find a cool sword, but grandpa says I'm not strong enough to wield it. But my other grandpa gives us a heart, and then I'm strong enough to wield it. Is this the master sword? No, it's the white sword. Making a lot of progress, but we're also not making any progress. Where the hell is Dungeon 2? But if there's one thing I know about NES games from our Kid Icarus playthrough, it's that the instruction manual is usually very helpful. Borderline strategy guide quality at times. Not only that, it's super important for story and immersion.
Oh, Link. Impa, I order you to destroy Ganon.
Oh, Impa?
But before you do, I need to tell you the history of Hyrule and its 9 secret underground labyrinths. The first one is in a dead tree across a bridge. It might look like the Deku tree, but that name isn't canon yet. The next one's shaped like a moon. You only have 3 days to clear that dungeon. And Dungeon 8 is tricky to find. Try burning down the forest. It's really fun. Dungeon 3 is full of dark nuts. And trust me, you don't want to know how they got that name. You're gonna need a ladder to walk over water and a raft to walk over bigger water. Dungeon 4 is shaped like a snake, but also the snakes are called ropes. Shooting ropes in Dungeon 4. Hey, let's go. Save up your rupees for Dungeon 5 and bring a lunch to Dungeon 7. And once you do all that, you can go fuck up Ganon. Did you get all of that? You can also flip back 2 pages and find a map of the world. Whoa!
Yeah, Nintendo does it again. Everything we need to know about gaming in general is in this booklet. And all the art's beautiful, too. It looks like it's straight out of The Legend of Zelda's 90s anime OVA or something. Unfortunately, it isn't. The only animated Legend of Zelda content we got was... Princess. But fully immersed and with map in hand, we make it to Dungeon 2. This dungeon is much of the same as the last one, but it teaches us the power of bombs.
Bombs?
Bombs are the key to the world, even more so than actual keys. If a wall looks suspicious, you can probably bomb it. If a wall doesn't look suspicious, you can probably bomb it. Discovering secret rooms in the dungeon that tells you more about how to bomb things.
Dodongos dislike smoke.
What does that mean? Great! I can't wait to bomb some Dodongos.
But to blow.
Second Dorito obtained, and we continue our journey. First stopping to deliver a letter to Grandma, which lets us get a potion. There's 2 types of potions in the game, and chat convinced me the red one is better than the blue one. I just wish there was an option to combine them. And now we're at Dungeon 3, which introduces us to the hardest enemy in the game, Dark Nut. The cool thing about Link in top-down Zelda games is he can block damn near anything with his shield, but when enemies do it, it's not fair. They each take like 3 hits with my new sword, and it's really hard to get to the side or the back of them, so I can't wait to bomb some Dark Nuts, which lets us go into the basement. You know, it's kind of neat they give us a 2D side-scroller effect when we enter these item rooms. Let's hope they don't get too carried away with it in future games. Things could get really weird. We find a raft, which is really useful later, but first we gotta fight Manhandla. I can't wait for you to manhandle these nuts. Another boss bombed and another triangle obtained. Dungeon 4 is pretty easy to find since I remember this dock from getting lost earlier. I never forget a dock when I see one. I'm a bit of a docking expert, really. Dungeon 4 introduces the most annoying enemy in the game, Vire. He's a goofy jumping vampire that explodes into bats when he dies. He keeps jumping over my attacks and doing the splits midair. His flexibility makes me uncomfortable. We brave his house and find a step ladder, which lets us walk over single tiles of water. I'm not sure how Link does it. He's always ready to drop the ladder below him and pick it back up while stabbing enemies in front of him. He's like some kind of expert Fortnite player or something. We make it through the snake dungeon, which after getting the map, kind of looks like he's got his own snake hanging out, if you know what I mean. Oh fuck, it's King Ghidorah!
Actually, King Ghidorah has 3 heads, which the Gliok also does in the instruction manual.
Okay, yeah, you're kind of proving my point. Any heads you cut off fly around the room all spooky-like. I'm gonna be honest, it took me a couple tries because I could never get to this boss with full health. All because of the goddamn vampires jumping around in the Halloween dungeon before. But eventually, we get a good run and we get him. Using our ladder and raft, we get 2 more heart containers, and then our instruction manual map becomes worthless. The rest of the dungeons are much more well hidden, and without the internet, you would have to rely on Impa's vague hints and NPCs in the world to help you. An old man in the last dungeon tells us to go into a waterfall, and we do, and this lady charges us for her information. But if we give her anything less than her max asking price, she takes our money and tells us to fuck off. She extorts all our rupees and tells us to go up, up, up the mountain, and that gets us to Dungeon 5, where we gotta fight some Benoys and mummies, mummies, mummies. The Pole's voice are really tricky to kill, unless you use your bow. Funny thing about the bow in this game is even though we bought arrows earlier, you don't actually have arrows. It costs rupees to fire too. The economy is fucked and money doesn't make sense. Kinda like real life. My chat also told me you could talk into the Japanese controller's microphone to kill them. Dungeon 5 is supposed to be shaped like a lizard, but all I see is the purple guy from FNAF. Wait, this game was released in '87? We try to bomb more Dodongos and fight some even darker nuts, but it's getting really hard. But that's the beauty of adventure games. If you feel like you're too weak to beat these nuts, you can probably go somewhere else and find some other upgrades. Like this bush obviously has a heart container in it, and this graveyard obviously has the Master Sword in it.
Actually, it's called the Magic Sword.
Shut the fuck up.
And with that, we're able to kill the nuts, find the flute, and play the song of our people to kill Dig Dogger. One of the tough things about Zelda 1 is at this point, we need a lot of rupees to get all the best stuff. You need to have a full wallet on you at all times because you never know when an old man is gonna make fun of you because your bomb sack is too small. And that either means finding all the secrets to everybody, farming it, or playing the money-making game! Good old Nintendo, starting my gambling addiction early, baby. Let's go! Aw, dang it. Aw, dang it. Aw, dang it. Aw, dang. Let's go! Okay, yeah, I use save states to farm rupees. I was streaming and on a time crunch. And I was getting really hungry and I had to make myself a sandwich and all the chads are fighting over the bread. It was chaos. Luckily, this gives enough money to buy some meat and a magic shield.
Boy, this is really expensive.
You set the prices! And a blue ring, which turns our tunic white. Or light blue? Periwinkle? There's actually a lot of debate on what color this tunic is in the game. Something CRT TVs and color settings, I don't know. More importantly, it protects me, making us take half damage, which is gonna be great for happy little Dungeon 6, the territory of the Shadow Wizrobe Money Gang. We love moving diagonally. And I do not like likes. I'm sure nobody's made that joke before. But eventually we make it through the Shadow Realm and find the Wand of Gamelon.
Good.
You're a wizard, Zelda.
I'm a what? Wait, did you just call me Zelda? And then we get to Goma. Now, I'm sure this was groundbreaking when this game came out. So much so that an old man has to tell you to aim for the Eye of Goma. But nowadays, it's just an enemy with an eyeball in a Zelda game. You gotta shoot it with an arrow. It's the law. And then we gotta go find Dungeon 7. So let's grab a croissant and use it to push a boulder so we can fast travel.
Take any road you want.
I want you. Time to whip out my flute, because we need to play it in the desert. It's Dungeon 7, and they keep doing the RPG thing where bosses become regular enemies in future dungeons. Oh my god, it gave birth. Now there are 3 dong-dongers.
There's a secret in the tip of the nose.
I thought he was gonna say the tip of something else, and I'm glad he didn't. He's talking about the map, because the map is shaped like a face locked in eternal pog. But to get there, we need to get past this guy.
Grumble, grumble.
You're not you when you're hungry. Take my meat. We get to the nose, kill some wall masters. Floor masters? Wall master. Master Hand. And solve the puzzle to fight another Aquamentus. 2 hits? That's it? They didn't buff his health at all. Oh, we also got a candle upgrade. Lets us shoot 2 fireballs at once. It's really important because you need to burn a bush to find Dungeon 8. It's pretty dang hard to find. There's a hint in the manual, and that dead end hint from before are both supposed to lead you to burning this tree in the forest. And this is also when the dungeons get really confusing too. They really encourage you to start drawing your own maps on scratch paper so you don't get lost. But I've got amazing gamer intuition and plenty of bombs to throw at every wall until something works. We find the Bible, which lets our wand shoot fire, and use it to fight even more bosses turned into mini-bosses. Manhandla, Blue Goma, Gleeok, 4 Heads Adventures. Wait, that was the actual boss? This dungeon was really short. But we have to make sure we get this limited edition Disney Lion King key before we leave, which lets us open any door. And the HUD is right, we do have a key. It stands for all... A lot of. Our Giga Triangle is complete. So all that's left to do is stock up on potions and go to Death Mountain to fight Ganon. Now Dungeon 9 is complete hell. Tons of Wizrobes, secret paths, lots of dead ends, and there are even looping one-way paths that throw more mini-bosses at you. It sucks. How the hell will I ever find Ganon? Oh! Just like the start of the game where I randomly found Dungeon 1, my gamer intuition kicked in and led me straight to Ganon. I truly have a mind for gaming. I mean, I didn't beat him, but that's beside the point. And since I ran through the dungeon aimlessly, I don't think I could retrace my steps and find him a second time, so I got a map, which also showed us the location of 2 important items, the silver arrow and the red ring, which halves our damage taken again. Now, I'm not all that good at math, but if the blue ring halved our damage before, then with the red ring, we're pretty fucking good. And we're gonna need everything to beat Ganon, especially because he's We swing our sword wildly at the air until we catch him T-posing. And once he turns brown, we blast him with an arrow and holy shit, he exploded into a bloody mist. Jesus Christ, that's brutal. We take his pork-flavored Dorito and bring it up here to Princess Zelda.
Oh boy, smooching time.
I won. We did it, you guys. We saved Hyrule. We may have gotten shot by Octoroks, eaten by likes, and blocked by Dark Nuts. But overall, I think our first Zelda experience was a huge success. And yeah, we got lost a couple of times, but if you think about it, that just means we got to play the game longer. Without the help of the internet, I could have played this game for months, exploring every corner of the map, talking to NPCs, and farming rupees, which back in the day was a feature. That being said, I can't wait to play more Zelda games. It's gonna be cool to see how the adventures evolve from this point forward. Maybe we'll play Zelda 2 too, or a 3D Zelda, or a CD Zelda. Okay, probably not that one. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'd like to give a special thanks to my Mega Chads for their extra support of the channel. You can become a Mega Chad today by clicking the join button. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time, everybody.